And we have Team Tanga Tanga, we have Team Kieleweke, and also the handshake has what it plays in here. And of course the question is, what is this handshake that we have had now for over a year that doesn't seem to be moving us? We keep referring to the handshake, but is it giving us the progress that we expected? Let's listen into what they had to say over the weekend.
If you're working with Uhuru, amesema support the handshake. So how are you working with Uhuru if he's telling you to support the handshake na unapigana na handshake? So if you are not supporting the handshake, you're not working with Uhuru.
Wewe unakuja kwa mkutano na kwa runinga na unasema hatua zake Uhuru za kuleta handshake, mimi siwezi kubali. Inamaanisha unadharau zile hatua Uhuru amechukua na unaona Uhuru kama ni mtu labda akili zake si sawa sawa. Kwa sababu wale watu wakati Uhuru alikuwa ndani na yeye, Raila akiwa nje, walikuwa wanakula mzuri wakati baba alikuwa nje akifanya vita. Sasa tangu baba aingie kwa serikali, sasa mirija imefungwa. Sasa mbinu ni kusema baba atolewe ndio tuendelee kukula kama samani.
Uhuru na Raila wamesema we are building back the walls of Jerusalem. But just like Nehemiah, mtu kuna wengine wamekuja, Sanballat the Horonite and Tobiah the Hittite, and they said, surely will those walls be rebuilt.
Wetu ambao wako kwa Jubilee hawataki tuseme mambo ya handshake, kwa sababu kama sio handshake, mambo ya ufisadi hatungekuwa tunapigana nayo.
All right, and I come back now to you, gentlemen. I'll start with you, Didmas. Team Tanga Tanga, as it's now called, is apparently fighting the handshake. Is that true?
It's not true. Let me first clarify on a very important matter that this country needs to understand. The handshake was between Raila Odinga and his president, Uhuru Kenyatta. And this was not to mean that the members of parliament who are from minority parties also engaged in the so-called handshake with the government within the parliamentary chambers. Because when we were constituting parliamentary watchdog committees are usually reserved for members of parliament from minority parties, commonly referred to as opposition. So if parliament is itself that is supposed to oversight the executive through the Public Investment Committee, through the Public Accounts Committee, so if the same people are the one now who are saying we are in the government, then this is the tragedy that befell this country. Today, when you listen to my good friend Honorable Atandi speaking, he has completely changed from the way he was speaking before the handshake. So we must separate and limit the handshake between the president and the former prime minister on matters of a collaboration to take this country forward. But Parliament must continue to exercise its role and duty. There is no member of Parliament, including some of us who are elected in the Jubilee Party, who are in government. Government is basically executive, meaning the president and his team. But Parliament also is a separate entity, is independent. So when you begin to speak the government language that, we have to support the president, we have to work with the president, we must support and work with the president on matters, policy, legislation that will take this country forward. So I want to ask my friend that they should re-examine their position, they should redefine the so-called handshake and go back to play the role that this country expects them to do. Right. But they have just become sycophants.
All right, let me hear from Weda. I'll come to you. Let me just hear from Weda in terms of have we completely taken this handshake out of a context of what it's supposed to be?
I think the wars around the handshake have made the local, the ordinary Mwananchi be forgotten. The Tanga Tanga team are busy fighting the handshake. The how they call themselves, the Atandi team are busy fighting the Tanga Tanga team, who has been forgotten. The people they represent. Exactly. Here, you can see even now they are not talking about the people. It's not talking about Kimilili or Alengo Songa or who should eat and who's dying of hunger. They are talking about how firm the handshake is and how election will be in 2022. I don't know if people shall have died, all of them, who will vote for them. I think what the president is saying, let us concentrate on working. And that should be led by the deputy president. He is also have allowed now these people to find him offside And being offside now, they are hitting him so hard, and we have forgotten the 4 agenda items. That's why people can die in Northeast, in Turkana, and the leader comes to say nobody has died, and you feel like weeping. You find they go to church and they don't even know where the Holy Communion is, whether it is red or white or green. They are just waiting for the time when they'll be addressing the press. In fact, I think the Anglican Church going forward, some of these people will have to address those stories outside the church. Therefore, I would like to say that the dust around the handshake is now so big that people can't see. We can't see the people dying. We can't see people in hospitals. We can't see people hungry. We are just seeing the hand, and we don't know whether it is Ruto's hand or Raila's hand or Atandi's hand or Didima's hand. Please come back.
Right, Honorable Atangi.
Gitonga, it's very sad to have an ignorant member of parliament in a studio like this who does not know
language,
that in the current setup, in the current setup, parliament, there's nothing like opposition in parliament. Article 94, subsection 4 is very clear on the role of parliament. We oversight national expenditure, So you cannot expect Honorable Atandi, because I was elected as a minority, to be the one oversighting government. All of us as parliament, our work is to oversight the executive. And by the way, you are not in government anymore. You are a member of parliament. You're supposed to oversight the executive. Don't come to parliament and tell me that you are in government and I'm in opposition. It doesn't work in parliament. In fact, what we have seen in Parliament right now, after the handshake, is that now Parliament can think and act as a house that is mandated by law to check on the excesses of the executive. That is the first point. The second point is that Didmat Baraza is trying to define for us what the handshake was all about. Yet you are not the person who was involved in the handshake. The handshake was between 2 people, the President and Raila Amolo Odinga. And any other person, including Deputy President, is supposed to do what the principals have said. So if you have a deputy president who is a deputy to one of the principal who signed the handshake document, telling us that for him, what he would like to do is to run around and contradict what the head of state is saying, just like my colleagues have said there in the clip. It is not right, and I think this is what we are saying, that we want everybody to walk in the steps that have been given to us by the principals. Today I hear, the deputy president saying that, Raila wanted to have handshake with me and I refused.
Right, gentlemen.
How would Raila have handshake with them?
Allow me to pose you because we need to take, Honorable Tandi, allow me to pose you because we just need to take a short break, but we'll come back and we'll come back with solutions, hopefully. So far, I've tried to, we're trying to talk solutions for Kenyans, but it's just been back and forth. Kieleweke, Tanga Tanga, President.
Just give me about 3 minutes.
I'll give you the 3 minutes when we come back. We'll take a short break. I'll give you a minute when we come back. We need to take a break and pay some bills, but do stay with us right here on KTN News. As we take that break, we'll be right back with the way it is.